Bam! Welcome to the live stream tonight. This morning, I don't know what time it is. It's some time to stand up and start taking care of business. Yeah, we getting tired of feeling helpless, and we're tired of having to rely on attorneys. And we're figuring out that pro se, y'all know what the hell's going on. Just let me. We down the hole. Okay. So first off, there's no difference between the HOA attacking your property, between the fake ass alleged lender attacking your property, between the servicer attacking your property. There's no difference. I have this conversation with people, they're like, oh, well, my circumstances, they're my special. No. Everybody's stuff is the same. And for the people who understand that, okay, it saves them a whole bunch of research and looking up state statutes and all of that bullshit, which are what they're using to screw you over with. Okay, that's what they're using to screw you over with. So we don't need, you look up all of this stuff, you don't really see, because what you're looking up is the stuff they put out there for you, unless you spend a little time and understand the difference between their lies and all, Okay, so how do you stop them the same way you stop the other people attacking your property? It doesn't matter what the corporation name is. It don't matter what the name is, as long as it has foreclosure on the end, and we'll get to that. It does not matter. You stop them by adding their asses to the same counterclaim strategy, adding them to their own lawsuit as a plaintiff in your counterclaim and the state, because the state's licensing them. The state is the one helping them do all of that stuff. And then the people, and now that's a problem, because they can't represent themselves. They can't litigate a case they're a party to, and they can't. I'm talking to attorneys, the HOA people, all of them. But you don't need that, all of them, because the more people you add, the more complicated it becomes for you, and easier for them to slide out the back sideways some kind of way. And that's why we don't get emotionally and add a whole bunch of people, because it doesn't matter how many. It does in my head, okay, and I'm keeping it simple. And I like to roll without emotions when I'm down there. Now, you might think I have some in there, but I didn't have them when I put this together. I have it when I deliver it, because people miss the freaking point. Okay, so what was important is the HOA, okay, lien jumping. They're trying to lien jump. They can't lien jump up to the number one thing and start a foreclosure process. That whole thing is bullshit. I'm just going to tell you. And Mr. Loback over at Loback and Rowe, if you want to come on the live stream sometime, you're welcome to come down here. I'll give you a little spot up there, and I'll be respectful, and I'll let you talk until you're done. But I got a couple of questions that I want to ask for you. Okay, first off, you stopped the HOA by suing them for the RICO situation, and that lawsuit is on sale right now. Or if you want the best there is, you get any lawsuit package that I got and attack the HOA with it. Okay, well, how does that? Oh, now you're making it complicated by doing the check down in your head, adding their limitations to my stuff. And that's why I tell people, don't add none of that shit to what you get here, okay? Because you do start doing that, and the next thing you know, you just threw your own shit out of court. I'm serious. I am serious. And most people don't realize that we don't give a crap about state court. We ain't trying to litigate nothing in state court. All of those statutes and codes that they're attacking you with don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. They're not considered a valid law according to the Constitution, which is the only thing that I think that I even want to like thinking they do not have. Okay, so you just add HOA to the Stop 42 USC 1993? Absolutely. You can sue them. Fraudulent concealment? Absolutely. They fraudulently conceal the fact that they're throwing your ass under the bus. Absolutely. Yeah, violating the Tucker's Act. Yep. As long as you add the state in there, you can, you can do the Tucker's Act violation. You can do Foreign Agent Registration Act. They're not registered as a foreign agent, which is federal law. And that's how we bring criminal liability to the table for these people trying to do this stuff over here. Oh, you have way more options if you didn't limit yourself to their corporate bullshit. I'm just saying. People, oh, well, Okay, people tell me I own. No, you own a part of the building that they're making your ass pay for through the illegal assessment shit. That's what you own. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of do a little breakdown here on HOA. So the HOA board is responsible for creating and enforcing the CCNRs, the covenant restrictions, and the covenant something and restrictions. You guys know what that shit is, okay? And it's important to note that these guidelines are not laws that can be enforced by the government. Rather, they're private contracts among HOA members that are entered into voluntarily. Now, if I entered into the contract with HOA as a member, I would want to make sure the HOA got my back and they're not doing no shady shit or hiring people to kick my ass that are going to lie to me and do all this other. Just follow me. So members of the HOA are usually paid HOA fee by the HOA fees and dues. You guys have to pay fees, and these dues and fees that you have to pay, this money goes toward upkeep of the property, surrounding grounds, and such as landscaping, pools, and plumbing, and things like that. Okay, so, and I'm sure there's other stuff involved in there, especially if you're with a sketchy non-for-profit organization that's using the profit to do other stuff over there, but the people over here that's making the non-for-profit for profit for these people are suffering while their buildings are falling down. And so the cost of the HOA dues vary, I know, between $100, $700 a month, I don't know, roughly. And this is just, I don't have one, so I'm just kind of, doing this off of the research. So, and generally, the more amenities offered by the HOA, the higher the dues, which that's pretty much common sense there. So, costs can also be impacted by the size of the community and the units, whatever, blah, blah. So there are also times when you might have to pay assessments. It's about to get hot. Okay, so do HOA owners own any of the property? Now, that's my, so people get stuck in this corporate BS that attorneys bring to the table. And it's, the fake shit. Okay, so, I'm not that smart. If I invest in a house or then, I own half. If I invest in a duplex, I own half of the lot. Half of the lot's my yard, half of the lot's that yard. I can take out a lien against my property at some point in time to buy the property, do all of these things. Can you do that with HOA? I don't think so. And the reason I say I don't think so is because people tell me, oh, I'm an owner, ready, Okay, so you own the building. Is that what you're talking about? Because I'm talking about owner of the land that the building's parked on. And if I'm going to sue people for violating me and trying to throw me out and evict me off of the fact that they were sketchy with the insurance company and possibly got yanked out the back door, and now they're going to make the homeowners pay for assessment for the new roof and all this new stuff that needs to be done while they build some new stuff over there. I don't know. Somebody's building some new stuff over there, and Lobeck knows who and him and Lobeck and Rowe, the law firm in Sarasota. They know what I'm talking about. Can you take out a loan against your portion of the property that you own? What do you own? Oh, we're all owners individually. No, that's on paper, maybe. Okay, but that ain't even good for me on paper. Because if you own some shit, I own 1/64th of this property. The building don't mean shit. It's already about to fall apart, and they're building some new ones over there. They just haven't got these people ass out that are not willing to go down in the attorney, Mr. Lobrack's illegal foreclosure crap. Yeah, so they do the assessment, and then they tell you it's an assessment. We need $15,000 for the roof, and we need, then you got to pay for the court fees and whatever. And this client is up to a little over $100,000 and all of these things that, and she's realizing now the whole time it wasn't a lien. Mr. Lobeck and Rowe, no, it was not a lien. It was a lien foreclosure. Okay, so here's how that works. They put lien on the paperwork to send out to the stuff they file in court. It says lien foreclosure. dash foreclosure. I had one lady say, well, here's what I got off the internet on my own that's not on the website. And it said, huh? How'd you get that? I'm going to have to charge you more to tell you that. No, you just have to invest in the premium package where you get coaching and I teach you how to do this. That's the beauty and the value that we bring to the table. You learn how to do this yourself. If you don't, and I'm anybody that's tried to get me to hold their hand will tell you that I ain't rolling like I don't give a shit. Okay. Here you're gonna learn how to do. If you don't learn the words to say when they call you on the phone, when have these dumbass Zoom hearings, when they do this stupid shit, or when you go to court to file your stuff and have the clerk pick your ass apart, if you don't learn the words, the clerk's gonna throw your shit out before you even get down the thing because they already know you ain't wasting their time. Okay, so yeah, they come in low back. They come in with this foreclosure, this lien dash foreclosure thing, and people think they're just fighting a lien situation. You know what's the worst can happen? You know they're gonna like take me to jail, make me pay payments. What's the worst that can happen? Well, if you don't realize that it's a lien foreclosure or Mr. Lowback and Roe are the ones working. Oh wait, they're working for the people that's supposed to have your back. Do the homeowner association for Villa, whatever the hell, do they know that this attorney is going to file this paperwork like this and screw over the people? How many units have they got? Does the attorney, Mr. Lowback, get any kickback funds to Lowback, to Chaplain and Lowback Trust? The trust, is that the only? He didn't have time to look for the rest of them, but that one is connected to their personal property that we're going to be filing a lien against at some point in time when they call my client and let her know they're going to leave her the hell alone because my client's still walking on eggshells and a little worried about getting kicked out of her property over this. But, it ain't over till it's over, and that's the way I roll. And right now, we're starting to find out that this HOA shit is okay. So your HOA board members, all of those people, you sign contract to invest in their, and the whole time they're throwing your ass under the bus. I don't know. They're throwing this person under the bus, and I'm pretty sure they ain't the only one that got thrown under the bus. A lot of people just pack up and leave because they can't stand up to the beat down. Now, while we're talking about the beat down, I just want to say right now, this client is like a mini superhero because she's small. Okay, but here's the thing: she didn't give up. She's here right now, still in her house. Yeah, I sent them some stuff. We got some stuff filed or whatever. But you know what? The last thing they taped on her door was done. It was done, and it should have been filed in court. It was taped on her door. It was obvious that somebody checked out before I checked in. Oh, but that's all right because these people will take it down the street and they'll find another bar member, okay, that doesn't know how bad they got. Oh wait, well, everybody's gonna know how this thing turns out because we don't roll like most people. So I want to show you guys. Okay, you're gonna see it anyway. So we're just gonna go and check it out. Okay, this is pro say. Well, you guys see that? Yeah, my granddaughter's gonna be yelling at me about that one, but I'm just gonna tell her that was the AI. That was not me. That was the AI getting out of control. Okay, but you see right here. The goal here is to let people know what's going on so people can see, okay? Because the way I think, if I was HOA, I don't know if I would want to hire or I would continue to hire Mr. Lowback and Roe because, their dirt's out. And if I was HOA board, the last thing I would want is to have the members that I've been eating, having potluck dinners with, enjoying things with together. The last thing I would want is to have those members know that I had it in for the ass the whole way. I'm smiling in their face, shaking their hand, taking their check, and I'm jacking the ass off the property as soon as I can. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm not with one person. And oh wait, yeah, somebody else emailed me, and I haven't had a chance to. Yeah, so the HOA, and it don't matter where they at, but this is gonna be interesting because this is called the video beat down, I guess you could call it. So these are the shorts, and we make a short out of these. And these videos, my channel is SEO, so these videos will soon show up underneath Mr. Lobeck and Rose website on the internet. How about that? I bet they didn't factor that in. Now, you guys can contact the people over there in Sarasota. Y'all know where the situation is. And I'm sure there's more than the two people and let them know that you're going to go sit the hell down and leave them alone or not. And they paid for the power punching, so we're just gonna keep making videos. We're gonna get the RICO filed, and then with that notice of preservation, that will allow somebody to see some property up in her. We roll with the prosecutors, the RICO manual to prosecutors. So do things the same way the federal prosecutor do. I know what I'm saying. Ain't nobody doing that I know of. There's nobody teaching y'all how to go after them with the RICO stuff because of what they're doing. You don't need one person to check out. So, I'd like somebody to comment in how much of the actual land do you own if you're in an HOA, or you just renting with the thing, because you don't. I don't know, unless you get one of those fake deeds that they make a copy of and see. I don't know. Do you have a fake deed in the HOA? Like people tell me, oh, I don't have more than got an HOA. I think you probably would have been better out with a mortgage, because at least you have something that they want you to believe was a lie, and said, I can't get that right where I can bring the other one in because they're both lies. But at least you have something you could refinance or take out a loan against or whatever. I don't know if you can do that with HOA. If you can, somebody let me know, because I don't know. I don't think so. And I say that based off of how their program works in my head. So you can see, this is the video beat down with the power punching. Now, any of the documents that I have for foreclosure, offense, defense, neutral, illicit, works just fine. People are like, oh, but the HOA, no, we don't go in worrying about. We want to address why they were able to do what they did. Why was HOA able to do this stuff? It was, Yep. So that's what we're doing, and we're going to see if Mr. Lobeck was quick to come on email that I sent out, the first one. I haven't heard from him on any of the other emails, but he was quick to come out and say that he's going to report me for the unauthorized practice of law without license. And I have a license. I have one right here from the CCA when I was hauled off to jail for some stupid ass shit, and then they tried to force me to lie on my wife, whatever. And I'm not a deal taker, okay? And I think that maybe that's what makes me, but I'm an asshole. I don't know, whatever. Not a deal taker. I'm going to suggest that you ditch all of the stuff that you thought you knew, okay? Because the picture on the front, the thumbnail for this, most of the stuff that people know is bullshit, is lies and bullshit that the attorneys indoctrinated us to believe. The first one is that you don't have no damn rights. You have the right to shut the hell up unless you're willing to stand up and do whatever it takes. The only right you have is to shut the hell up. I'm just saying. If you're willing to stand up and do whatever it takes, then you might have a right if you were on with the right. Okay, you see, if you're doing the right thing, if you're not addressing what they did, that's what they want you to address, what they did, so the arguing can start and the lying starts and everybody judge gets to help them. Bam! It's that simple. It's just that simple to me. Everybody does gets to help them. That's how they do that. And actually, the judgment is not enforceable anyway because it's an administrative court. But they don't want to take that. And their professional defamation. They defamed you when they went after you before there was a judgment. So they defamed you before there was a judgment. So I mean, when it starts out in the toilet, then the stink never gets off of it. So, everybody's all worried about doing the right thing, making a mistake or whatever. And, while we're here, I want to also just touch on the new thing that we got going on. Now, we got this new lawsuit package we put together here for a client. The eminent domain offense lawsuit package. If the government decides they're going to take your property, then you need this. Eminent domain offense lawsuit package. Now, I'm still building this. We have the core documents in it. They tried to respond. Well, they responded with a notice from the clerk that one person that was on there hadn't signed, and the other issue was, what was the other issue? Oh, the other issue was that we could not file a counterclaim because we have to ask for leave of court to file a counterclaim. No, not when you come in with fraudulent concealment and not when you do a supplemental pleading. So this here, you can use this against them because they don't just get to take your property. That ain't the way that goes. And the taking of the property is under the Fifth Amendment of the federal Constitution. What these people did to this person that hired us was these people came in from the federal U.S. attorneys, came down to the state level and went after this dude to take his property because the dudes that was already doing business with, because they already had already doing business with, okay, they was talking trash and, decided they was going to not pay him and just get it all for, and so that's not happening yet. So this lawsuit package empowers you to challenge the condemnation, abuse, demand just compensation, or not at all. Exposed to fraudulent taking under the color of law. This is per for homeowners seeking justice, federal relief, and for constitutional protections. Stop the government before they take your property. And we only have 2 payment options on this, so you can pay with Zelle or Cash App. We're not going to be messing around with it. Okay, so eminent domain offense lawsuit package. Every year, thousands of homeowners lose land and property through the abusive eminent domain schemes carried out by federal government on behalf of private businesses acting without constitutional authority. Now, the word condemnation is actually the process that they use to take your property. What these fools tried to do was they came down to the state level, so they couldn't go in with eminent domain because that's under the Fifth Amendment in the federal Constitution. So they came down to the state level and used the word condemnation as what they were doing. And then they used a state statute, 3114 or something, to try to. That's total bullshit. You cannot. Statutes and codes are not valid laws. They don't have enacting clauses. They don't have titles, and they don't have bodies. So they're not valid laws. So federal government can come down here and do the little slick shit they want to, and then now they're getting jammed up for RICO, and we just against the clerk, because the clerk is trying to handle this to save the judges. So these entities often rely on administrative codes, corporate charters, or redevelopment partnerships instead of Article 3 court processes, which lead to uncompensated taking, fraudulent conveyance of the title, and civil rights violations under the color of the law. Now, the biggest thing in this, and I'll do a more in-depth thing on it because I put together. The biggest thing in this is it comes down to, under the Fifth Amendment, it's strict and it demands just compensation. So instead of going down, so that's what it comes down to. What the hell is just compensation? Well, the market value, whatever bullshit. In my head, just compensation and whatever I decide I want for the property or whatever is the situation. It had nothing to do with all of that stuff. And this lawsuit forces their hand to. And the funny thing is, this person, when they first attacked him, he sold the property to a LLC. And the same shit they do. Oh, they were a little grumpy is, grumpy does. You can bring the grumpy if you want to. I think they need to be worrying about how they're going to like get out of this grumpy situation. Because the homeowner's a little grumpy right now, too. So they use the word condemnation, which is just the whole process of taking your shit as part of the court process is called that. But they use that to try, and it's not a state court process because what they're doing is they're using the Fifth Amendment, but don't apply to this corporation. If it did, then no one would be getting screwed over because all the corporations have to do the right thing. Don't even get me started. I'm just saying, I'm not that smart, so I have to keep this shit simple. Intimate domain. Why intimate domain? Abuses are unconstitutional. They violate the Fifth Amendment. They don't provide just compensation. The 14th Amendment prohibits property without due process administrative agency. I mean, I just left those. I could add more. I could make the whole page. It's so bad what they're doing to people. Now, we have one or two other documents we're going to include in there as soon as we get these people to go sit down. So we'll know exactly what we need to have in it to get that done. That's the value of the real-time feedback. Bam! From all people learn how to punch with power. And now it's time to stop sitting around worrying about it. It's time to stop sitting around worrying about them taking your shit. It's time to stop. And this is the premium package. It's on sale half price right now because they need to have a few reviews on it. And these are some of the other related products that we have. Oh yeah, there's the RICO primer that we're using to do our RICO lawsuit. And there's the foreclosure defense of RICO lawsuit. Oh, we got some hot stuff over here. Okay, guys, thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I'll see you guys in the next video. I got to go eat lunch. You guys get over to winningcourtnow.com and get what you need. Let's go.